Warning: this video contains themes of violence, gang activity, and death. This video was made for educational purposes and in no way glorifies gang activity or any of the people involved. We made all efforts to make sure our sources are accurate so we can give the most accurate video possible. With that being said, let's get into the video. In today's video we're headed back to one of the most dangerous cities in the state, Sumter, South Carolina. As you can see from my previous videos, there is a war in this city between the Bleeders and UTC. We're going to specifically focus on one member of the Bleeder gang today. He's one of the biggest and most feared gangsters in his city, Tay Blocker or Block Bleeder. Tay Blocker grew up at a young age thugging in the streets on Sumter. He was always known to be on the West Side, D Block and North Main, or as you can hear him say in songs, the Bloody North. He grew up outside in the streets with guys a lot older than he was. This led him to be very advanced in the streets, doing things a lot of kids his age wouldn't dream of doing. At the age of 17 years old, Tay Blocker joined the G-Shine Blood Gang. G-Shine is a Bloods gang set that evolved from the United Blood Nation in the late 1990s. G-Shine originated in the New York, New Jersey area and migrated along the East Coast and now has sets, or subgroups, in multiple states including New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Shine Money Gang is a subset of G-Shine that is based in the Longs, South Carolina, area. G-Shine Blood's primary source of income is the sale of a variety of drugs, including crack cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, oxycodone. Guns are also bought and sold by G-Shine, but mostly for use by members to defend themselves from other gangs. Between the years of 2016 to 2019, Tay Blocker was known to be one of the most dangerous and unpredictable men in Sumter. After joining the Bloods and gaining many enemies, even former friends from his childhood, Tay Blocker was on a clear quest to slime out his entire city. In 2018, Tay Blocker started his career as an upcoming artist in South Carolina, and that one decision brought Tay Blocker a world of trouble. Tay Blocker would start his rap career by robbing another Sumter, South Carolina artist and making a diss song about him immediately after. This diss song is one of Tay Blocker's biggest hits, titled Blowing Smoke. It's racked in a total 269,000 views on YouTube since it was published. This artist goes by the name Smoke Gambino. He was robbed by Tay Blocker while trying to complete a drug transaction. Smoke Gambino vowed to get his revenge against Tay Blocker. As Tay Blocker heard the news, he went and made a diss song towards Smoke Gambino, telling him he's ready for all the smoke and is prepared to handle anything that comes his way. Smoke Gambino ultimately decided Tay Blocker and his gang were not a problem he was ready to deal with, so he resolved their issues and said Tay Blocker was forgiven for what he had done. While Tay Blocker was having brewing issues with one man, he was still out in the streets stirring up issues with anyone he could. Growing up at a young age, Tay Blocker was known to be friends with some of his present-day ops. He was known as one of the slimiest men in his city, so it is to no surprise that his old friends were slimed out, and that's how they became his ops. In August on 2019, it's rumored that Tay Blocker tried to rob a member of the UTC crew. The robbery was unsuccessful and Tay Blocker fired multiple shots at the victim on the attempted armed robbery as they fled. The victim knew exactly who shot at him, so he contacted law enforcement to report the crimes and ultimately press charges against Tay Blocker. Tay Blocker would respond by then dropping another one of his biggest tracks to date, a song he's titled Boost the Murder Rate. This song was his invite for his ops to do just what the song is titled. Also coming in at an impressive 280,000 views on YouTube, this song gained Tay Blocker statewide attention. Not only from fans and music supporters, but also from his ops and the Sumter Police Department. This song plus his pending warrants would lead the Sumter Police Department to launch an investigation into Tay Blocker, and it would also put the biggest target on his head. On September 9, 2019, Tay Blocker's life would have changed forever, as one of the most horrid acts of violence Sumter, South Carolina has ever seen was displayed, leaving dozens of witnesses hurt, traumatized, and heartbroken. Around 1 a.m. at a Sunoco gas station located at 1083 Broad Street, the gas station was filled to capacity with customers. A fight broke out between customers, and that's when a barrage of shots followed right behind them. Everyone in the parking lot fled to their cars, and as everyone fled the scene, there were just 2 bodies left with fatal gunshot wounds. Gregory Donta Middleton, 30, and his cousin Michael Rogers, 30, both died from apparent gunshot wounded. They are the older brother and cousin of Tay Blocker. 3 others were treated for gunshot wounds. They all survived. Police believe rival gang activity led to the shooting at a Sunoco gas station in Sumter. Police believe the rap video titled "Boost the Murder Rate," which features one of the individuals involved, as well as robberies targeting rival groups, led to the gunfire at the gas station on this fatal night. They responded by putting outstanding arrest warrants out for Tay Blocker. Shortly after, Tay Blocker was apprehended under the suspicion of the gas station shooting, but he was ultimately charged with shooting into a dwelling and attempted armed robbery stemming from a previous 2019 incident. His bond was denied and he'd sit in jail for the next 2 years. Police would also make other arrests in the case of the 2019 shooting. 3 years after a fatal shooting at a local Sunoco gas station, a jury found one man involved not guilty of murder, meaning he didn't fatally shoot anyway. But the jury did find his guilty of attempted murder, which mean he did indeed shoot someone on that fatal night. He was sentenced to 20 years in a South Carolina prison. His name is Joketh Myers, or Big Guap Maysvillian. He's a member of a rival gang in the city of Sumter who is known to have an ongoing beef with Tay Blocker and his affiliates. A handful of other Maysvillian affiliates were also apprehended because of the shooting, but other charges were not perused. It's clear that the beef between the Maysvillian crew and Tay Blocker had claimed the life of his older brother. Even with Tay Blocker behind bars, this beef continued to escalate because of shooting and diss songs. After serving a year plus, Tay Blocker was released back onto the streets of Sumter, South Carolina. He was right back to thugging on his blocks, but this time it was a little different. Tay Blocker was still fueled with anger after the death of his older brother. He got right back to terrorizing his ops every chance he got. He also went back to dropping diss songs. The death of a rival gang member once again got Tay Blocker's name in the sights of law enforcement. Officers would blue light Tay Blocker in and attempted to question him. Officers smelled a strong odor coming from the car and decided to search. Tay Blocker was arrested for gun and drug possession and ultimately sentenced to 2 years in prison. After serving his time, Tay Blocker was released from prison in 2024.